What? Welcome to Talking Simulator.
Oh, God. Hello, and welcome to Talking Sim... Yeah.
I'm Corey.
Is it AM or PM?
Yeah. Today on the program, we're playing I Was a Teenage Exocolonist by Northway Games, produced by Fingy.
Should be cool.
Should be cool. Guess what? It's another card game. Despite everything you've been led to believe, exocolonialism requires card battles. So today, we're going to be collecting life experiences and then using them to complete simple chores or complicated chores, sometimes violent chores.
What you're seeing is advanced warfare.
The future. Shall we?
Let's. And exocolonize.
We did it. All right. So I'm at the helm.
Mm-hmm.
Which means checking the settings first. Oh, snap. I'm turning off tutorials. I'm sailing away. What else should I do?
I like how it's disable tutorial on.
Yeah, that's very clear language. It's my favorite. We can adjust these later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need those. Okay, so yeah, the content warnings for this game are actually kind of great because they're under spoiler folds.
Oh, okay.
So you can really dig into what you're gonna get before you get there. But yeah, some characters die. There's some violence. There's some stuff about military. And some body horror. So let's begin. Wake up. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire! Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend! Your friend. Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you. All you hear is a ringing in your ears. What's going on? You try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lung full of choking smoke, and you feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. And then a cute doggy. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like, from Earth? Avert your eyes, squeamish people. Creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. Yeah, that is a weird dog. Get that dog out of here. Choo-choo. You're born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4 in the hope that they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged their cultures and traditions. They name you something else. What's our name?
I don't know.
Buh? What? How funny do we want it? Vandal? Why would we name ourselves Vandal? That's for a vehicle. Child 01.
Child 01 final.
No, the other people in our group are gonna have names like Antecedent and Tangent and Anemone.
Marginalia.
Camadem? Camriander. Spud.
Index.
Marginalia? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Molly, good pick. Good pick. Marginalia. Boom. Now, this changes kind of how our character looks as we
Okay.
age, and the pronouns people use.
Oh, okay. Neat.
So, we're a collective, so let's just
Yeah.
we are they.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't ever checked the. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you get some decent choices there. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active, your mom says. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced, dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles, and strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vertumna will be like. Every child in the Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see your first sign of yours. So we get basically boosts to different stats
Ooh.
because of our enhancement. So like perception boost, dexterity,
Learning.
yeah, reasoning, strength. I think that's just toughness. And calm temperament, I think, is like one of the soft skills.
Right, right. I kind of like calm temperament or galaxy brain.
Let's calm temperament. So these are social, the yellow ones. Nothing can faze you. You're really frustrated. You're rarely frustrated. Really frustrated. You don't let anxiety get the better of you. You brush insults aside, always play nice, and never have to be told that sharing is caring. We're a
Yeah.
good child.
Yeah. If I could spend most of my time not being upset by things, I think that would let me get a lot more done.
So we've got Anemone, Cal, Mars, Dis, and Tangent not pictured here, and Tammy also not pictured here. Likes to play sports, hardcore pacifist, and garden boy. Asshole.
Okay.
Mars is an asshole. Marzipan.
Good name, though.
Yeah. And Dis likes to break all the rules and go outside. We have a rebellion versus loyalty meter that will affect how people treat us more than it will affect our actions.
Which one is the sticky kid?
The sticky kid? Probably an enemy.
Okay, yeah. An enemy looks like a sticky kid.
All right. We're friends with the sticky kid. Not sure if that's what you. I mean,
Yeah.
we can change, but never means to get you in trouble. All right. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to the other star system, with the planet Vertumna 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, then things start to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods, just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's gonna be fine, Marginalia, your dad soothes. We'll be through the wormhole down in the planet before you know, just like we practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. Red emergency lights switch on as sirens begin to sound somewhere distant in the ship. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look out a porthole. The stars are gone. When you're frightened, you
I like get in touch with your emotions.
Let's do it. You bawl like a baby. It feels good. You aren't the only one. Nearby, your classmate Tammy has tears streaming down her cheeks. Mars is trying to quietly console her. She sighs as your crying makes Tammy wail even more loudly. Your dad puts his arms around you as you let it out. So we can always see kind of exactly what bonuses we get. And this is one of our cards that we got for that event. You wait, shaking builds. Then everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches, and you're stretching too, your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon and contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this the wormhole?
Man, I wish I had gotten a card for every time I just had an ugly cry.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
Catharsis.
My arses.
You hear the distant, ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The weirdest part is a sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know somehow that everything is gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be daijobu. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall. Head first, you black out. As you slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once. And more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them. Different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and a stranger, but also not a stranger. Grinning as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distantly, you can feel the ship's shaking has stopped and hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the med bay. The med bed under you plays a soft tone, and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completely healed. They may now be safely discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different.
I mean...
We had sunlight in space.
Yeah. Tree? Ground?
Ground? Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from the twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, glass-walled domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside on the ground. Better get out there and join them. So, are we a go-getter, or is this, are we nervous?
I mean, okay. Our best friend, Anemone, is the go-getter.
Yeah, okay,
right?
so
The
we can be
one?
we can be the one that we should learn some adventurousness from an enemy.
Yeah.
But
because, like, I always found
we
that
just had a head injury.
Yeah, I always find that my relationships kind of balance out like that.
Okay.
I think.
So we'll use an enemy as a foil.
Yeah.
Okay.
She can go first, or they can go first.
All right. So here's the colony.
Ooh.
And this is like the command area.
Okay.
And this is geoponics. And our dad. And there's the front gate.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you play sports ball.
Okay.
And the garrison.
Mm-hmm.
This is school and science.
Okay.
And this is like the social hangout, babysitting, kitchen, spa zone.
Okay.
So here's Tammy. Oh, Tammy jumps as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake! You've been asleep in medbay for days. Are you all better? You rub your eyes. You do feel groggy. Everything is so strange. The air feels moist, and the ground is covered with pale blue powder that crunches under your feet. The reflections of it off it are blinding. Ugh. That sounds unpleasant. You squint and look up, then almost fall over from the vertigo. The sky goes on forever. Around you are fungal trees taller than anything you've seen before. Your heart pounds in your chest. You feeling okay, Marginalia? You better go see your dad. He and your mom have been waiting for you to wake up. She points southeast towards some odd geodesic domes. Let's go talk to Papa. And we can kind of, should be able to, there we go. mouse over him and get his name tag and then info. And that info is also up here.
Ah.
So we've got different pieces of stuff we can collect from people. We can gift them things
Oh, okay.
that are also cards. I know what an enemy's augment is when she gets damaged, her skin repairs with scales.
Cool. Oh, is that why she has the little, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is if an enemy starts dating anybody or gets married.
Okay. Marginalia, your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Instance thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, my snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He was clearly very worried about you, but covers it with jokes and smiles.
Do we love our father?
We love our dad. Welcome to Vertumna, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two and parts taken off to form other buildings in a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill.
It's been 2 weeks. I don't know how fast we expected
Yeah.
stuff. Are we curious?
I think we're curious. I want to know. Well, I want to know what's outside.
Yeah, what's outside the walls?
Oh, don't worry about that, my dear aubergine, he says. Nothing that could hurt you. We just don't want you to get lost in the big world out there.
My little eggplant.
Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in medbay. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday? Already. You feel a dizzying sense of déjà vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what is in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand.
We've got Neo Maru in chat saying they wrote all of these many, many words, and the writing in this game is very solid. It's
Awesome.
it's nice.
Well, welcome. Do we open it or do we...
I mean, we do know what's in it,
Yeah.
but
Maybe...
wait for mom? Open it later? I don't know.
I kind of like spilling to our dad that we know what's inside it.
Oh yeah, okay, Dad, we're not impressed. We know we get +1 to challenges.
You describe the medallion, and your dad tisks as he hands you the package. Aw, who ruined the surprise? Was it Seek? I'll bet it was Seek. They hate fun. He grins and adds, don't tell them I said that. You start to explain that nobody told you, but someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Marginalia, he says, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed. He stops himself. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it, your mother and I. Professor Hal is expecting you in classes, if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing and the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Marginalia. I love you.
Love you too, Dad. Let's talk to this little troublemaker. You see Dis sitting on the ground, but beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall of the south, where the grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need the walls?
Good question.
You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory so strong you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've half remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Well, breaking you from your daydream, Dis whispers, I think there's monsters out there. My dad says. Let's see. So we're being a little more reserved. Do we like this? We like this weirdo?
Uh... Hmm. Do we want to be a weird mystic?
A weird mystic.
Does that work?
Maybe on a future place.
Okay.
We can just, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe you. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. Turns his back and ignores you.
Man, that is a good eye roll.
Bye.
No. All right.
Well,
sure.
you tried. This is so sensitive about being teased. I tried. Look at my little sparkly footsteps.
Ooh.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Definitely good to breathe in.
Definitely.
Hiya, Marginalia. An enemy seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns on the weird blue snow. This stuff is different from snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat. You can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. An enemy is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. Have you seen any monsters? Nope, just some little bugs. The grown-ups would say if there were monsters, right? She shrugs, then smiles reassuringly. Even if there were monsters, Chief Rat would beat them up. So don't worry. My mom says we're safer here than we were in space. You both look over the wreckage of the Stratospheric, the spaceship you were born, where you were born. An enemy's mum and antecedent
That's good.
is probably right about that. Look what the wormhole did to your ship. What you doing? Just snow spirals. Earlier, me and Cal made a big snow pal. You missed it while you were sleeping in mid-bay. She smiles her broad gap-toothed smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play.
Shouldn't we be in school?
She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm gonna be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay, she says. Professor Hal is chill. He won't mind, but we should probably go now? She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race you! No fair, she's getting a head start. So,
All right.
a low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs in medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of the wing is off limits to children. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Marginalia. Big brain, big talk.
Well, our dad is a botanist?
And we can learn xenobiology.
Cool. I mean, that would be about learning about monsters.
Yeah, let's learn. So we're monster focused?
I like the idea of being, I feel as a
Big
child...
brain, monster focus.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Life sciences. Good afternoon, my burgeoning biologists and up-and-coming chemists. Professor Hal welcomes you back to your old classroom. This afternoon, we'll learn what I like to call the wet sciences. No one likes it.
No.
Only Hal likes that. He gestures to his holo-projected lesson plan. Biology, chemistry, medicine, ecology, and geology. Geology's so wet.
Very, very damp.
You'll learn a little bit of everything with opportunities for further study in your favorite field. If you're looking for something a little drier, try registering for engineering classes.
For today's lesson, Professor Hal tells you, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Vertumna. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over 1 meter a day and have a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions.
Oh, yeah.
You're teamed up with Tang and Callan, are given a mush tree spore in a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up surveyor's notes on the holonet. Mush trees, she reads, are most abundant in the south of the colony, in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil? Cal suggests, like they do with hydroponics. Hang nods. If they like wet weather, that might work. Marginalia, do you have any suggestions?
Everything.
I
Wait,
mean,
and it's
wait.
not a very controlled experiment.
Yeah. Can we look at some of the other... Can we scroll back up through the chat log?
To see.
Yeah. So, in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp.
So yeah, lightning. Water. I don't know. Like
Are swamps...
lower pH.
I don't know.
I feel like they're high ammonia from degrading crap.
Yeah. Because swamps don't have a lot of like direct light.
Yeah.
Maybe lowering the pH?
Yeah, let's try it. You fill a bucket with water, sorry.
Oh no, go for it.
You fill a bucket with water, add spark snow crystals. These are sometimes left over at the end of quiet season. They're mildly acidic, which means they should lower the pH of the water. Every day you rush into the classroom to check on its progress. At first there's nothing, but by midweek your little mush tree shoot sprouts up and starts its journey. In the end, yours is in the middle of the pack. Seeing as mush trees don't usually grow where there is spark snow, you're able to conclude they probably don't like acid. Da-da! So, our goal is to get 8. It follows poker rules. So, pairs, matching colors, and straights are points.
Okay.
And then we get just an extra straight up 1 because of our equipment.
Okay.
Which is here. So, I'ma just do this.
Okay.
We did it. So all of the tasks have like a friend that is sort of involved with them.
Okay.
Like if you do babysitting, you hang out with Tammy. And then they'll target usually like 1 or 2 of your stats. Sometimes in the same block, but sometimes very, very disparate.
Okay.
And then stress is the track that is kind of our energy level. And we have to take a break when we get stressed. And when we take a break, we get an option to discard 1 of 2 of the cards we have, if we want.
Okay.
So it'll just randomly give us 2 cards to pick from. And then we can cull our deck that way.
Okay. Okay, cool. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job, and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric where you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed. You can tell they're exhausted. They make an effort to spend time with you. Though you can tell they're exhausted, they make an effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out from her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up?
I learned some stuff in school.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles, and Professor Hal will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. We have social credit?
Yeah, we have 0 right now. It costs 50 to get a cake, and then the other stuff ranges. It's usually closer to 100 for the first bit, and then later we'll get stuff that costs more.
Okay. You know, your dad says, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there are lots of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby, or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future, and if that means you find your own way, we'll accept that.
Yeah, they definitely do that.
Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas on for how you can spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help.
So there's moving forward, and
Okay.
here's the other clock up here.
Oh, okay.
So that last bit is glow and usually a special event.
Hmm.
There's also a festival midway through the year.
Okay.
Get your own clothing. Anyways.
A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Marginalia, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. The spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there's no way I'm going out there in all this weather, she concludes. Since you like running around in it, could you fetch them for me?
It's just down the hill.
Yeah. I mean, Mars, come on. Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Mars huffs and rolls her eyes. Ugh, I don't even know why I asked. If you ever want to actually be useful, go talk to Administrator Seek, she says, gesturing to the door to command behind her. They're looking for people to work delivery, and I'm just like, no, I'm way too busy. Too busy fetching my own soy sweets.
So in here, in command, we can look at information about the colony. We allow food.
Very low food.
So the festival is the second week of dust. There's xenofauna. And these are all the people in charge.
Okay.
Chief Cultivator Flulu is our mom.
Oh, okay.
Organizing we don't have the skills.
We are not.
We're not skilled
We're not
enough.
well suited.
Hey, Tammy.
You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your entire life. Back on the ship, you...
Just hung out.
Yeah, sure.
Used to play with her.
Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used all his nanoprinter creds to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perk up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Marginalia, she says. Her voice is soft and dreamy, like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play with dolls?
I sure do.
You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements and two super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly, who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at a club. The two of you spend the afternoon making up stories of their rise to stardom as professional dancers.
So, all of the people have pretty strong archetypes. She wants to be a mother. Big mom energy.
Anemone is bumping a sports ball with her wrists, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up, she shouts and bumps the ball in your direction. Think fast.
Do a trick!
You catch the ball with your wrists, bop it up, and headbutt it back to Anemone. She grins her huge gap-toothed smile. Whoa, nice moves, Marginalia. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep going. Anemone tells you about the new sports ball court, a proper regulation-size court, way bigger than the little zero-G one on the stratospheric. Her brother Com is coaching the junior sports ball team this year. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us.
So, more studying or sports ball?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody at the gate yet. Our parents want to talk to us.
You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouse with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house the more delicate plants from Earth. Spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do? She asks. Remember, Marginalia, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing in the back half of the stratospheric severed frame. Professor Hal's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on your shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know?
These are just information dumps on
Okay.
what happens in every area. Do you want to go through them?
No. I mean, yeah, we're fine.
Okay. Papa.
Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today?
Hanging with friends, mostly.
Yeah, kicking it old school. That Cal's a good boy, he says. And have you seen Anemone? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess that's what happens when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Vertumna's magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I miss seasons. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season, when both the suns will be high in the sky, and it'll be real hot then. You'll see.
Sports ball!
Sports ball?
Sports ball!
Let's sports ball.
An enemy meets you on the court. She's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. My brother Com is organizing the youth team, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting, then tosses a sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and an enemy are team captains. Pick your team. An enemy used to practice with Cal and Mars on the ship, but Tammy? You're surprised to see her here. Com will fill in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. Not athletic. Super athletic. Somewhat competitive. Good player.
Well, I guess we go with Cal then. If we get first pick.
Yeah, we get first pick.
Either that or we take the ringer. Although I think Kombucha might not play to win against 10-year-olds.
Babies. Let's do Cal. I mean, Com. Sorry.
Okay.
The other one. The old one.
He's 5 years older than any of you. You'll definitely win with him as your forward.
An enemy chooses Mars. She takes her position as striker with an eager look on her face. Your next choice is Cal.
Yep.
Mind if I play goalie, he asks. Sports ball is fun, but it feels mean to score against the other team. You face off 3-on-3. So goal is 18. We get 3 rounds.
Okay.
So each round will subtract its total from our goal,
Okay.
basically.
Well, we have... So when we play a card, we draw a replacement, right?
Not as we play. Each round we'll draw a new hand.
Okay. Oh, like an entirely new hand?
We'll fill our hand.
Okay.
We keep the cards we haven't played.
So is it better to hang on to the card with that turns all toughness cards under 2 into 2?
How many toughness cards do we have? We have 2 possible ones to pull, but I would prefer to just do that.
Okay.
Just get triple 2s. So we've already won, and... Nah, let's get the... No, come on, get... Super winner! You play next net stop. Com could probably run the entire field himself, but each time he gets the ball, he passes it off to someone else on the team. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. The score is tied, with an enemy in Mars aggressively keeping the ball in your zone. Kombucha manages to intercept and punts it to you. Blam! You score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Hal was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate off hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Hal walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy.
Yeah, we probably deserve that.
At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if? What if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone they think you're playing a trick or you're sick and need to go to the med bay, you eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why?
We don't want people to worry. We're empathetic, right?
Yeah. Your parents have so much on their minds already. You know, you have a feeling that something is happening at Geoponics that they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but when they come home at night, they look really sad. You don't want to make it worse. If you just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble, it'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. Let's talk to Tang. Tangent is hunched over her holopalm, frowning and poking angrily at the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Hal wants us to prep a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog in the colony holonet, but I can't find it anywhere. Tried opening a window?
Nerd. Shove her into the dirt.
We're helpful.
Yeah.
So that gave us organizing. You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's holonet archives for a list of autumnal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics from the expedition's net. An enemy passes by and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, holo nerds, she shouts. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Tang just rolls her eyes.
Nobody wants to talk to us.
Yeah, and sometimes you can also find stuff on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Cal is riding around the geoponics garden on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off, catches his balance before he eats dirt. Hi, Marginalia. Real Grand is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There are bumps everywhere.
Well, why don't you figure it out?
We'll have to adapt. Yeah. Yeah, Cal exclaims. Things are actually way, way better planet-side. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. Kickflip. He runs over to a small depression on a nearby hill and presents it like it's something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate ball. What?
I kind of want to try.
Let's do it. Sure, please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. You take the turns riding around the bowl, trying to get up enough speed going down one side to come back up the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on the board with this uneven ground, but it's still fun.
Doors open.
Doors open. We can talk to the expedition lead. You step cautiously through the colony gates. Hey there, kiddo. Uncle Tonin blocks your way with a smile. I'm afraid expedition is off limits for now. It's not safe out there for kids. Better toughen up so you can join the squads when you're older. So we can look them out.
Ooh.
Ta-da!
Neat.
And do you want to see any information about the zones?
Uh, um, uh, yeah.
Swamp.
Yeah.
To the south is a vast boggy wilderness home to dangerous animals and hazardous weather conditions. Exploration in this area is only to be done with extreme caution. That's the kind of stuff you
Okay.
get. But we also get a bestiary. Float cow!
Float cows. Xenolevis bovidae. These cumbersome-looking creatures are actually lighter than air due to large helium sacs on dorsal and ventral sides. Careful balancing of helium and urine allows them to control their elevation. They produce a salty, high-protein, milky substance for feeding their young that is also nutritious for humans. And a source of helium?
And urine!
We're rich!
And Hopeye.
Xenophilus monopodus, a communal creature with two disparate sets of eyes and one strong foot used for both locomotion and defense. Though harmless, these small warriors can be fierce in groups.
Manticore.
Xenophilus tyrannus, highly intelligent and predatory. Their plumage changes according to the season. Their body is composed almost entirely of dangerous weapons. Do not approach.
What if they got there? A knife! Okay.
Cool.
Be a good child.
Go to school.
Go to school. You're paired with Cal for a simple lab assignment where you have to mix 2 reagents and heat them over a little flame. The solution is supposed to turn blue, but yours explodes and makes a huge mess. Cal grabs a dustpan and helps you clean it up. Get to work. Our goal is 5. We can just put all of the cards down in whatever order.
Man, it's almost like school is designed for us to succeed.
This is a challenge. The month of pollen. I mean, season of pollen. Ugh, gross. We have to talk to Dad. No?
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 Okay.
Come on. Your dad sneezes and wipes his nose with a handkerchief. Woo, this pollen, he says, his voice thick with congestion. Someday I'm going to get used to this. Ah, egg.
An egg? You find a hefty red xeno egg.
So that gets +1 to a card and changes it to a red card.
Cool.
Or you can gift it to people who like eggies and boost your relationship. I think some of the like, if you want to get with Tammy, you have to lock her down before, like, puberty.
Oh?
Yeah. Or she'll get into Cal's pants.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Good children do homework.
This week in biology class, you're learning about predators and prey. Professor Hell brings up a picture of a hawkeye on the pollen projector and asks, who can tell me what special things hawkeyes do when they see a predator? Tang's hand shoots up. They hop away very quickly. That's why we call it a hawkeye.
She stole mine.
Nerd. Hell nods. That's true, but not what I was getting at. Tang stammers and looks upset, like she can't believe she got something wrong. Hal scans the class again. Anyone else? Marginalia?
What do we get for this?
That's
It's a
debatable.
5-point card. They fly!
You stammer after being put on the spot and say the first thing that comes to mind. That might work, Hal smiles, but hawkeyes don't have wings. He gestures to the picture of one right in front of you on the holoprojector. You feel pretty dumb. They thump their feet to warn other hawkeyes in the area. Then they hop away very quickly.
Worth it.
You look over to see Tang smirking at you. You both got it wrong, but she still thinks she's better than you? -2?
Oh. Doop. Doop. Doop, doop, doop. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. It's fine. We still got 1 back. So that it's just a -1.
But she'll always remember that and never respect us for as long as we live again,
Probably.
right? Yeah.
You wake from an afternoon nap. You squint into the pink-tinged light slanting through the windows. You must have fallen asleep in the lounge. Tammy's shadow falls across your nest of pillows. Oh, I'm sorry, Marginalia, she says, giggling. I didn't mean to wake you. It's so nice outside with pollen sparkling in the sunlight. I wanted to open the windows. You rub your eyes obliterally. Ugh, you were having the weirdest dream. Since you're awake, you should visit the cafeteria. Auntie Seton is making a new kind of candy. She says it's made of cotton. Isn't that weird? I have to go tidy the crush first, then I'll meet you here. Save some for me, okay? Tammy skips towards the creche, humming to herself.
Get that bread.
Get that bread. In the cafeteria, Auntie Seton is cheerfully handing out masses of pink candy, puffy and soft like clouds. Oh, Marginalia, she says, handing you a wand with some candy spun around the edge. Here, try some of this. We used to have it on Earth. You pull off a piece and give it a taste. It's so sweet at first that your mouth puckers. You've never tasted anything so sweet and so real. It's not at all like the soy sweets that the kitchen nanoprinter can make. It melts in your mouth, leaving a gritty residue on your tongue. You wait until everyone is gone, but Tammy never shows up. You look down at the cotton candy in your hand. It's wilted a little from the humidity. It's kind of like her hair, you think. Pale pink and soft. You keep some to give her later. You're relaxing in your family's quarters after dinner. Your mom had to run off some kind of council business, so you and your dad are playing Hollow Game together.
Are we the sticky kid now? Do
We
we
might
have
be the sticky
candy in our pocket?
Yeah. When you're just about ready to head off to bed, your mom returns. You can tell from the defeated slant of her shoulders that something has gone terribly wrong. Your dad starts to ask her what happened, but she waves him away and approaches you. She sits down and takes your hand, holding it between her two strong, dirt-creased ones. Marginalia, I'm so sorry I have to tell you this, she starts. Her mouth quivers as she swallows, working on her next words. There was an accident this afternoon, in the creche. Your classmate, Tammy, has died. You try to understand her words. Tammy? Dead? That's not possible. You suddenly remember the cotton candy you were saving to give Tammy, pink and fluffy just like her hair. You put your hand in your pocket to get it, but what comes out is a sticky, dark red lump of hard goo. You stare at it. Your mind goes blank.
What happened?
What happened? Your mom tells you as simply as possible that Tammy was killed by an electric shock from a broken hull projector. It was just an accident. You press her for an explanation. A little girl is dead, someone you'd grown up with, someone so much like you. She wasn't sick or anything. You just saw her this morning. She was right there. Why? Your mom's eyes are sad when she tells you. Sometimes there's just no reason why. You aren't used to dealing with death, and you don't know what you're supposed to do or say. You sort of mumble, okay, then get changed and crawl into bed a full hour before your bedtime. You try to fall asleep, but you toss and turn for hours. You eventually drift off into fitful dreams of that small, sticky red lump of cotton candy.
Oh well, life goes on.
Rip. Ooh, Cal.
Cal is sitting in your mom's flower garden with his face in his hands. He's clearly been crying all morning, and probably all of yesterday, too. He and Tammy were really close. Whenever you guys used to play house in the creche, Tammy was always the mommy and Cal was the daddy, even though you were just little kids. You kind of always giggled about how obviously they were going to be together forever, like a princess and a knight. I miss her too. I think it's probably the empathetic one.
Me too, he sniffs, looking at you. You can see how puffy and red his eyes are. Me, really, really too.
Tammy always liked these flowers, he mumbles. Sometimes I picked some for her. He runs his hands over the pretty white flowers. Don't tell your mom, okay? Tears well up and slowly leak out of his eyes. He doesn't even blink, just stares at the flowers as the tears run down his cheeks. You decide to give him some space.
Alright, we're at break time.
Ooh.
We need some time off
Yeah.
to run some ads, and then we will be back.
It's time for commerce. See you soon. Duh.
We're back
We
on
are.
Vertumnia.
Vertumna 4?
Yep.
Neat.
Totally safe planet on the other side of a wormhole.
I also like our watchtower.
This little thing?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't actually know what that is.
it reminds me of the tower in Mononoke. Remember
Oh,
at the very beginning? Ashitaka's village?
yeah.
With the old dude up in the tower?
I don't. This looks decorative.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, there's like actual towers
There's-
on the wall.
Yeah.
Not that we can see. Okay, there's some scenes where you can see tower wall. All right. Just trying to give you room.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Mars. Mars is staring into space looking somber. She doesn't even notice as you come up beside her and barely reacts when you say hello. Thinking about Tammy, she says quietly. She used to just sit down the hill there at the spot in the sun. Every morning she'd sit there for hours in the sun doing nothing, just being happy. You stare down the hill to the spot near the entrance to the quarters. You can imagine her there, working on some little craft project, humming to herself. I miss her too.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's dead, Mars says, making a face. How's that for fair? Of all the people, how come it had to be my friend? You don't have an answer. You've never heard Mars call Tammy her friend before, but of course she was. Tammy was everyone's scared little sister, even though she was older than most of you. Mars clicks her tongue. Oh yeah, Administrator Seek is looking for you. I guess they need someone to do delivery jobs. She waves vaguely at the door behind her, distracted by her thoughts. I don't think we've got
The skills yet?
the skizzles. I mean, I can do that.
Chief Administrator Seek greets you at the depot. They look you up and down. Marginalia. You've never struck me as particularly responsible or organized, but children never are. What makes you think you would be a good fit for the position of courier? You didn't realize there was going to be a job interview.
So we can use our toughness,
Mm-hmm.
or just say we're gonna work hard.
Oh, let's cite our toughness.
All right, I can carry a lot, just like that raid.
Oh. Welcome, plaid posse. Strong for your age, maybe. Oh, shit. But lucky for you, you're the only applicant this week. You've got the job. For now, anyway. They use their elegant stylus to note this on their holopalm. Come back in a few minutes and you can help make deliveries. Yes, there will be kudos in it for you if you do it correctly.
Unlocked deliver supplies. Yay. So we can do that, or we can go back to school. Let's get a big brain.
Yeah, let's swell up that brain.
We're here for all the encephalitis. Oh, we can't because we're sad. Never mind. We have
Right.
to go have a nap. We're relaxing in the lounge.
We can just take a month off?
Yeah.
I mean, I think being...
Zero brain baby.
Yeah, zero brain baby. Just zero brain baby. Get rid of that zero brain baby. The colony is going to hold a funeral for Tammy. Do you want to attend? If you don't feel up to it, you could just skip it and take the month off instead. Or you could get back to work.
Literally, what?
I mean,
Let's go to the
let's
funeral.
attend.
Yeah.
Let's attend. The colonists gather in the recycling room. Bringing organics down to be recycled here is one of your chores, but you've only come here for a funeral twice. Both times a colonist had passed away from natural causes during the 20-year-long journey from Earth. This is the first time there's been a funeral on Vertumna, and the first time someone you actually knew. The mouth of the organics recycler has been polished, and a wreath of yellow flowers placed over the opening. Inside you can see a shrouded figure, Tammy's small, fragile body. Tammy's dad, Uncle Tonin, is here, as well as your parents, and antecedent, and the rest of the council. Cal is here with his mom and her partners, already crying in their arms. The room is packed with people, and the feeling of grief is so thick you can taste it in your mouth. Governor Udicott stands before the assembled crowd. There are no words to ease the pain we feel today, she begins solemnly. There is only the sad company of those of us left behind to share the burden of that grief. Tammy was our child, she continues, one of the first humans to be born in space, and the first to die on an alien planet. In her short life, she exemplified the very arc of human accomplishment, bending hopefully towards life beyond our humble Earth. She is the first of us who can truly call Vertumna home. Her passing was as senseless as it was sudden. Losses like this are impossible to hold within oneself, a painful reminder that life is impossibly precious and fragile. But they also remind us, as always, that as a community we are capable of great strength. Utica closes the door to the recycler. You hear Uncle Tonin sob over the hum of the particle disintegrators beginning their work. As a community, we remember Tammy. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us. In this way, Tammy, our child from the stars, will never truly be lost to us. The ceremony is adjourned, but a few people stay back to console Uncle Tonin as he keeps vigil over the recycler. Cal and Uncle Tonin hold each other and weep openly. Your mom stays behind to receive Tammy's remains. As the head of geoponics, she'll be responsible for adding them to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. Your dad accompanies you out of the recycling room. He clears his throat. I want you to know that you don't need to be okay, he says, clasping his warm hand on your shoulder. If you want to take the rest of the month off, everyone's going to understand.
Back to school.
Back to school. Just hustle through it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel better just having said goodbye. You didn't really know Tammy that well, after all. It's sad that she's dead, but you have to move on.
Onward to late pollen. Check in for people. Little conversation bubbles. No one wants to talk to me.
Nope.
I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, they're all nerds anyways.
Yeah. Life science. Goal is 11. So again, I can just flippy dip. And let's add a baby.
Just toss in the baby.
Just toss in the baby. We're getting so smart. Look at our little biology meter.
Yeah.
Once it reaches a threshold, I think that's 25, we get something.
Cool.
We get like a perk.
Ooh.
So early dust. I think, mid dust? Late dust is when the festival is?
Yeah.
What's up, Tang?
Marginalia, Tangent says, approaching you with purpose. We need to discuss my brother. Who dis?
Yes, Dis, she says impatiently. I need you to figure out where he's been disappearing. Ever since we landed, I barely see him anymore. He doesn't even come home at night sometimes, and She trails off and looks at her feet. Well, I'm not very good terms with my brother of late, but people are becoming worried. You get the feeling Tang is the one who's worried, but she doesn't want to admit it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marginalia, she says, looking relieved for a second before her expression hardens again. I mean, it would be a ridiculous waste of resources if something happened to him and no one knew where he was or how to find him. Right, of course. Tang doesn't get worried.
Yep. Let's go talk to... Oh, it's missing. There he is.
You tell Dis that his sister Tangent wants to know where he's been disappearing off to. His eyes flit briefly to yours, then he stares vaguely off towards the engineering wing where his sister is reading on her holopon between classes. He doesn't say anything.
Come on, twerp. Spill the beans.
Get him in a headlock.
Yeah, noogie.
She's worried about you. She doesn't care about me, he says sullenly. Tangent's just worried she'll get in trouble if I don't come home one day. He scowls and picks at the hem of his sweater. She doesn't care about me or anything but her schoolwork.
Noogie time?
Yeah. Dis looks down at a patch of bobble buds sprouting from a crack in the wall. He squirms. I don't have to tell you, he says quietly. Just leave me alone. I don't get it. We threatened to beat him up and everything.
Yeah. Dust is such a dry, hot season. Both suns are high in the sky, baking the usually lush Vertumnan jungle. If there's a breeze, it's warm and, you guessed it, dusty. Your parents are up every day before dawn, which comes far too early for your liking. They're usually gone by the time you wake up and home after you're asleep, so you have to visit them at work if you want to see them. Good morning, Gooseberry, your dad greets you cheerily. Have you come to see the harvest? Your mom and I are gathering crops from actual Vertumnan dirt this week.
Let's show an interest in our father's work.
Neat.
That'll encourage him.
He shows you around the rows of corn and beans from Earth. They all look a little yellow and scraggly, not what you'd expect, but your dad enthusiastically points out the vegetables ready to harvest. Don't forget, he tells you, the Vertumnalia Festival is coming up. There'll be a talent show and science fair. I'm sure you're eager to participate, Marginalia.
Talent?
Yeah, there's a talent show. We can do magic tricks. We can sing. We can tell jokes. We can eventually get an instrument that we can play.
Oh.
Do you want to focus on winning the talent show?
I mean, it would be nice to be able to do something, but, like, I don't know.
Our creativity, I think, is the score for that.
Oh. It's pretty dire, isn't it?
We have no artistic ability.
Zero. Absolutely flatlined.
Oh, brutal. Let's get our brain bigger.
This week in biology class, you're studying sugar bugs. This native species looks like purple marshmallows about the size of your fist, all puffy and squishy and kinda cute. They don't move or do much, but if you tickle them, they extrude an edible syrup from a hole at the top of their bodies. And now, says Professor Hal, you're going to dissect one.
It's just a bug.
Yeah, it's just a bug.
Let's figure out how that wiggly sweetness comes to be.
Yeah. You're given a, thankfully, already deceased sugar bug to work on. The moment your scalpel slices it open, a horrid smell assaults you, sweet like rotting fruit. Yuck. You see Tang trying not to gag, too.
Defiance! Dissection! Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam.
I guess we could go baby, red,
Baby, red.
-1 stress.
Yeah, let's do it. The 3 for...
Goal of 20, huh?
Got enough space to do 1, 2, 3.
Not bad.
Just flat 5 and then a 2. And then more points. Because we can.
Yep, just
Super
run the
goal.
numbers. Run the numbers. Make the professor call a GameStop. You carefully section your sugar bug into 6 discrete organs. You take a photo with your holopalm and carefully fill in labels for all of the parts. It's pretty good, Tang says, peeking at your work. These things are slipperier than I was expecting. Parts of mine are still moving.
Just take a picture with your hand. Pew, pew, pew.
I would not want to get my hand pwned by, like, a Belarusian teenager and used to mine, like,
Oh no.
kudos coin. Great job, class. Now we're going to leave them overnight, says Professor Hal. The next morning, your class is in for a surprise. The sugar bugs are alive again, and there are more of them. Your teacher
good.
explains that their DNA is so malleable that almost any part of a sugar bug can turn into any other part if it needs to. The resulting sugar bugs are smaller, but will eventually grow into full-sized ones. Vertumnum biology is weird. Oh, God.
Just cut the worms in half.
Yeah.
2 worms.
2 worms. They're holographic animals.
It's time for Vertumnalia!
Let's-
Unicott and the council have called a festival to celebrate life here on the planet Vertumna. Everyone gathers in the colony square to hear Governor Unicott's speech. In Earth's history, Unicott begins and then clears her throat and waits for everyone to quiet down because they were all like, woo!
Let's get ready to colonize.
Ahem, ahem. In Earth's history, Vertumna was known as the god of seasons, change, gardens, and fruit. It's no coincidence that our forebears of the Vertumna Project chose to take on such an auspicious name in the hopes of seeding future bountiful seasons of humanity. A rich crop of humans. We will continue his tradition of Vertumnalia, Midsummer Festival, to celebrate our Vertumna, this lush planet upon which we find ourselves. Yay!
Hooray!
Everyone cheers and applauds. The members of the council all get up on stage one at a time to give their own short speeches. Governor Uticott announces each one. Blah. So, Seek's chief administrator, Rhett's security chief, Instance is chief engineer, Flulu is chief cultivator, Antecedent is chief steward, and Melatonin, Uncle Tonin, is chief surveyor.
Oh.
When it's your mother, Flulu's turn, she announces tonight we'll be eating some of the very first crops grown from Vertumnan soil. Your eyes go to the feast table. Aboard the Stratosphere, it would have been mostly soy-based foods from the nanoprinter, spiced up with what precious fruits and vegetables could be grown in the small growing bays. This year, the Earth plants look even less robust than usual, but they're supplemented by some Vertumnan plants you've come to appreciate. Juicy potato pods, and bobber fruits, and slabs of edible fungi. Uticott takes the stage after everyone in the council has said their piece. What is a festival without festivities? Professor Hal and Security Chief Red have organized a 3-part competition for the kids. Good luck, childrens!
Ooh.
We could wrestle a robot. But we might have to fight. We might have to fight an enemy there. We want an enemy to win that, so maybe let's science fair.
Yeah. Yeah, look.
Because our giant brain.
Yeah, our enormous 40-pound brain.
Yeah. Tangent competes, of course, and during her study of the ship's hydro-recycling system, it was previously used to make urine drinkable, but
Urine's already drinkable.
Despite how many times she says the word pee, it's still boring. She put a lot of effort into it. Your turn goes next. The judges are all very interested in what you'll be doing. 41. Oof. Oof.
Oof.
Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
I guess we could just dump a couple of zeros with the 1 in the middle. Like, does that work?
Yeah. This one?
Yeah.
Get in there. Yeah, next round. All right. Double up. Or should we 2-pair? Let's get that out of there, and then we can fill the space with yellows and our sadness. 21. Pairs.
Are we going to make it?
Big numbies. We can push through and gain 35 stress.
Let's do
Boom! We win!
it.
You worked hard on your project. It's a baking soda and vinegar volcano with a twist. You grind up native rock as the soda part and use the juice from a native plant for the vinegar part. Your dad helped with the idea, just a little though.
We're 10.
You use it to explain the native acids and bases on Vertumna. They're very strong, so the resulting explosion splatters all over the judges. It's a crowd pleaser, earning you top prize for the science fair. We got friendship with Tangent, and now we're popular.
Like, it would be great if that was like -10 to friendship with Tangent. Crusher and could you imagine losing in a
Just
science
stop
fair?
speaking to us.
Like lose in the science fair to a kid with a baking soda volcano.
Yes. After your urine recycler.
Yeah, like my urine recycling system saves lives. I made a baking soda volcano. And everyone's like and just shoves you into the dirt.
During the first fierce heat of dust, a few days rest is exactly what you need. You feel refreshed. So during the festival, you usually get like 50 stress.
Oh, okay.
bonus from just hanging out and having fun.
Yeah.
So that's why I was not worried about pushing through.
Hmm.
So. So then I trapped it in my room, an enemy says, telling you all about the bug she saw in her quarters. Its wings were as big as my hand, and it had feelers like, wow! It was bouncing all over the place, like boing, boing, boing. She gestures excitedly, swinging her arms over her head. The bugs here are so big, and they're everywhere. I was going to give it to Tang, she says. She loves gross bug stuff. She said I should just let it go, because if it stung me, I might get weird mutant powers. I mean, other than the one I already have. And I wanted to see if I got more weird mutant powers, so I started jumping around off higher things until I was jumping off the back of the ship, and I got in so much trouble, but it wasn't even that high. She stops in her tracks. Hold on, she says, stooping to rub irritably at her knees, and probably the 100th time in the past 5 minutes. I'm gonna die. I busted my knees. So itchy when my scales grow in. Andy, don't pick at it. Chief Steward Antecedent's voice rings out across the garrison yard, pleasant but firm. It instantly transports you back to being on the ship crush, tugging at her skirts and calling her auntie. An enemy jumps and stands up straight, her hands flying to her sides. But Mom, an enemy whines, digging her fingers into her knees as Antecedent approaches you both. It's so scratch-tastically itchy. I know, lovely, Antecedent soothes her, patting down her riotous red hair. The more you pick at it, the thicker your scales are gonna grow in. An enemy tucks her hand under her armpits to keep from scratching. What if I want to have cool scales? She pouts.
Doesn't want to have cool scales.
Who doesn't want cool scales? Antecedent smiles indulgently. At the rate you're going, I'm sure you'll be covered in them before you know it. No need to rush. An enemy's skin is dotted with patches of protective blue-green scales that grow in whenever she gets cut or scraped. She rubs the patch on her jaw indignantly, the one she got when she ran headfirst into the food synthesizer back on the ship. Antecedent opens her satchel and pulls out a bundle of clothes. The queue for the nanoprinter is over a week long, so I patched your pants with scraps from your brother's clothing. Please try not to put any more holes in them, or yourself, okay? She hands the clothes to an enemy and kisses her on the forehead. An enemy sticks out her tongue and gags. Yuck! An enemy evaluates the clothes as her mom walks away. Galactic, she breathes as she runs her fingers over the odd-colored patches. Then right there in the middle of the yard, she unashamedly squirms out of her pants and pulls on the new ones. Whoa, I look like a fighter jet from the Hollows, she exclaims, showing off her new pants. Like when they'd stencil your kill count on your plane. Or like a really cool scar.
Yeah.
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 Or we're trying to moderate her a bit.
Yeah, I guess. We don't want her to get in trouble with her mom.
Yeah, you should be more careful. An enemy sticks out her tongue at you. You sound like my mom, she teases. Log.
Should we go and do a job?
You want to deliver stuff? You want to play sports ball?
I don't know, honestly. Like, we're kind of all over the place, stats-wise.
A little bit.
Like, I do like this concept of basically kind of like a little bit of a visual novel as a deck builder.
Yep.
Because it invites the question, are we not all playing a deck building game with our lives? Where all of our experiences are in fact cards that we can use to manipulate probability and overcome things.
Do we not, in fact, just utilize our experiences in order to complete future tasks?
Yeah. And then how do we optimize that?
How do we selectively forget? How do we eternal sunshine of the spotless mind our way through the future to happiness?
Yeah. Well, like, honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Life is Strange, the first one.
Yep.
Where you can go back and you can kind of like...
Optimize?
Yeah, optimize every scene until it plays out ideally. But I think the theme that game really successfully developed was that life is more than a series of perfect moments. Right? That things are more complex than that. That life has more factors in it that you can control perfectly.
So in this one, once you're finished at age 20, I believe, is when the thingamy ends. Once that happens, you restart from the beginning, but you keep your memories. So you can know how to solve certain problems if you have the stats or cards for them.
Okay.
But it's still your choice. Like, so you have an opportunity to fix the mistakes you've made previously, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to also investigate characters you didn't spend time with the first time.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Not to mention there are all of the expeditions. Like, you can go on expeditions to all of these areas, and they're full of different little scenes that you interact with.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there are things that occur early on, relatively, that we wouldn't be able to access as a natural child, but as an old soul, people kind of like indulge you more or let you out more.
You can
Like-
also get basically like delirium cards. Like, they're just, here's a card for being crazy. It's a -1 and it's every color.
Huh.
It's kind of wild cards. For talking about what'll happen. Trying to warn people. Yeah, no, it's more like you know that Tammy's gonna die, so you go with her,
Okay.
or you try to stop her from getting electrocuted.
Okay.
That's how it affects. It's not like, hey Tammy, don't go touch that hollow thing. You're gonna get zapped. It's just like you intervene.
Okay. Okay.
What's the other thing about rebooting? There was something else, but I can't quite think of it right now. Oh, another thing you can do is turn off the card battles. So it makes, if you're investigating the narrative, it makes it easier because you don't have to put the cards in the holes. Like, you can do hard mode, which increases the threshold you have to beat, like usually on the things, and so it's, instead of like 20, you'll have to beat a 40.
Okay.
And that can be a bit hard, but there's also not terrible downsides to failing challenges. Like, you can just give up.
Okay. Failure is a thing that we all have to deal with in life.
Yeah, you just don't get as many bonuses. Let's do deliveries, or we can shovel dirt with our parents.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Help with the farm. Get those muscles. It's your first day in the glorious world of agricultural soil conveyance. Oh boy! Good morning, Marginalia. Looks like you're working for your old lady. Hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my kid. Never. She walks you around the geoponics wing and points out where everything is. Your job is to move sod, compost, plants, garden waste, and equipment from one place to another. Get comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Now, any questions before you start moving that dirt? Where do I do it? From over there to there. She points at a dirt pile and points to an identical dirt pile 10 meters away. She sees your confusion. We had some very precious soil from Earth on the ship, full of all the nutrients and bugs and bacteria our plants need to grow, but it was lost in an accident. Now we have to make more from scratch using Vertumnant soil, which is part of the process. Don't we have machines for this? The construction crew's already claimed all the hover lifts, she says, shrugging. They'll break down in a few years anyway. We don't have the materials to fix them. We're planetside now. Use your muscles. Nature's hydraulic pistons. That's not how muscles work. Like, unless you're like a caterpillar. Don't spiders use hydraulics?
Yeah, they do. They kind of like inflate and deflate.
Yeah. Lots of bugs use hydraulics, but, yeah. Let's do it. Make Mama proud. Your arms start to ache after the first half hour of work, but you keep going. By the end of the month, you feel utterly drained and exhausted. And good, somehow, you can feel your muscles growing already. not too hard. It's just... I prefer more symmetry.
Yeah.
Yay. Next month. I feel like we have to make sure we don't neglect our school or our friends.
Yeah.
So let's sports ball and then school next month.
Okay.
Paired with Nugget to practice. Nougat. You make the mistake of underestimating her. She wipes the pitch with you. Boop. 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 Nailed it. Hi, Tang. Engine is watching a construction crew build scaffolding for the new engineering pavilion. They're using mushwood, which is so light that one person can easily lift a 10-meter log pole and stack it in place. She points towards them. Human beings are so great, don't you think? Before we landed, this was all just dirty jungle. Now it's civilization. I've been learning about adaptability in writing in biology class. The books say it's what sets us apart from the animals. Like we don't need fur because we can make warm clothes. If it's too hot, we can make air conditioners instead. Also, we
So
can
we
get
can
real sweaty.
Yep.
Tang nods vigorously. Yes, also that. I read that not many animals sweat except humans, and it makes us naturally good in hot places. It's like we're made to be explorers. Together you watch as the foreman pulls the blueprints for the scaffolding onto the floating screen of her hollow palm and raises it to the scaffolding to check their progress. I'd like to see an alien do that, Tang says primly. Humans look defenseless and weak, but we're the strongest species in the galaxy. Who else can literally bend reality to their will? Not a stupid alien, that's for sure.
Yeah, you tell him, Tang.
She puts one finger to her chin. I'm living proof that humanity is greater than our biology, she says. All of us are really with our genetic enhancements. We're the next step in humanity's evolution from great ape to galactic superspecies. Sure, honey. Sure.
Anyway, any more small children die in industrial accidents?
It's pouring rain and everyone's trying to stay dry under the grass-roofed palapas. Except Dis. Off in the distance over the wall near the sports ball field, he's definitely skulking. These are the towers I was talking about.
Oh, okay. How are we not tough enough?
What do we need? 15?
Oh, perception.
Yeah. We can't.
Zero
actually,
perception. We have not noticed anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna tattle. You tell Security Chief Rit you saw Dis up to no good around behind the garrison. He's too distracted trying to put buckets under various leaks in the roof to pay much attention. Thank you, Marginalia, for narking. I'll check on it later, he says, waving you off. If there's danger to the colony, one of the lookouts will catch it. You're not so sure. You know Dis. He's very good at hiding when he doesn't want to be found. Glad that didn't affect our relationship. Is the depot open? No. To school.
To school.
We can make our brain even bigger.
We can. Engineering classes. Neat.
Neat. Let's get a big brain. Using Congruence's HoloNet scheduling system is almost a test on its own. You feel like a hacker navigating the confusing interface, but manage to add your name to the list of drop-in students. You're now eligible to join Tangent and some other older students in engineering classes. Should we do that?
Yeah.
DM, we do that? Professor Hal rubs his hands together as he waits for the class to settle down. He's in a great mood. This must be his favorite subject to teach. If biology and chemistry are the wet sciences, then engineering must be the dry one. But believe me, this class definitely won't be dry. He winks. It's weird. We'll also be learning math, physics, computing, robotics, architecture, and astronomy. Tangent raises her hand. Will we also be learning about nuclear engineering? She asks, innocently, for no other purpose.
Can we have more homework?
Professor Hell nods. Yes, at a beginner level, we'll have an overview of atomic theory, and take a field trip to the engine room to learn how about our ship's nuclear reactor works to power the colony.
Engineers.
Right? All right. 0 0 0 0 0
One,
0
zero,
1 0
one.
1 1 0. Glam. You're having a terrifying familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls, unfathomably large, every part of it wriggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch helplessly. Time shifts to the wreckage of your home. You're picking through it, looking for something. Tears streak down your dust-covered face as you lift heavy pieces of debris, searching. You wake up shouting, "No!" But your voice is drowned out by the deafening rumble of the skies outside. The bedroom window is covered in water? It's pouring down from the clouds. You guess this must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, then another crack and rumble. Thunder! It must be a thunderstorm. It's still early in the hours of morning. You've already forgotten your bad dream, but you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down the roof of your quarters, joined now and then by great peals of thunder like footsteps of an angry beast.
Let's be brave.
Play in the rain?
Play in the rain.
Woo! Rebel! It's surprisingly warm outside, and the water feels nice hitting your head. Everything smells fresh and damp and wonderful, and the dusty packed ground has turned to squelchy mud between your toes. You don't go too far from the door to your quarters, but it's exciting being outside in the dark, watching dramatic streaks of lightning arc down the hills behind the colony.
This wet is mid.
What's taking mid?
So how do we develop our other skills? Like, we have
Which
many
ones?
things like persuasion, creativity, perception, and animals. We have no points in any of them. Or wait, we have 1 point in perception, I think.
So, jobs will unlock at certain thresholds, more or less.
Okay.
So if we spend a lot of time on a certain type of thing, it's like how we were doing classes and then engineering classes opened up.
Okay.
But we can... Is there... No, we don't even have babysitting options. Babysitting would be, I think, an empathy. We can work in the depot here with Mars, and that gives us organization and, I think, reasoning.
Okay.
But we don't have that available because of our earlier choices. Studying xenobiology is here.
Okay.
That would give us animals. Cal also starts working with an animal, so some of his social events do animal stuff. Also going on expeditions, we're sneaking out and running into those events that are outside.
Okay, we'll develop
those. Combat, they start doing defense training here at the garrison.
Okay.
Sports ball! Mars may not be a skilled sports ball player as an enemy, but she plays hard. She orders people around like a team captain, but she isn't so great at passing the ball. She'd rather be the star. Her favorite thing is to spike the ball right into the opposing net stop's body. It's not a legal move, but she's done it so many times the opposition now stands further back when Mars has the ball, which is exactly what she wants. She's a master manipulator. Did you see that? An enemy complains to you during break. Mars wouldn't pass the ball to either of us for 10 whole minutes. Somebody has to do something. An enemy looks at you questioningly.
Hmm.
The quiet treatment. It's Ghoster.
Yeah.
Let's just not pass her the ball. Yay, friendship. For the rest of the game, you and an enemy pass to each other and ignore Mars. She notices, but just assumes you want to be the star too and doesn't give you any hassle. The thing you've learned with Mars is she loves to be the best. She doesn't have the kind of ego that makes her mean about it. It doesn't really solve the problem, but it's kind of fun anyways. So many zeros. Boop, 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 boop. Kablam!
And bullying.
If you hang out with Mars, you end up bullying this so much.
Oh no.
You and an enemy are playing in the garrison yard with sticks, chasing each other around and pretending to be sword fighting. The adults training nearby are patient with you as long as you don't get too near the target dummies, but sometimes you stray too close. Watch out, Annie, one of the security personnel calls out as an enemy bumps into her. You kids stay behind the fences, okay? It's an enemy, she retorts, as both you retreat to a safe distance. An enemy throws her stick on the ground. Just because everyone else shortens their name doesn't mean I have to do it. I like being an enemy. But having a nickname is also kind of cool and mysterious. Like having a call sign, you know. What would you call me, Marginalia?
This is a lot of pressure out of nowhere, an enemy.
Anemone?
Nem. Nem.
An enemy? Nem. Nem.
Nemone.
Nem.
Nem.
Nem?
Nem.
How about Nem? Nem tilts her head. Huh! Never heard that one before. She mimes swinging a sword 3 times. Nem. Nem. I like it. Short and punchy, just like me. It's kind of like I'm an adventurer from a story. Nem picks her discarded stick. Now, she says, brandishing it at you, prepare to be defeated by the mighty Nem. You spend the next hour sparring with Nem in the yard. Nem, nem, nem. Nem, 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 nem. So we have one thing to do before Glow. I guess just more school, really.
I guess that's what our option is.
Let's get back to life science. Let's do our biology.
Hmm.
We're getting close to a threshold.
Okay.
You ask a question in class and are embarrassed when everybody laughs. You guess it was something you were supposed to know. You thought Professor Hal said there were no dumb questions.
That's hardly fair.
Bop, 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 bop. I did it.
The days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning you wake in the darkness and have to check your holopalm to know what time it is. You see a holostream from Mars. Good morning to all my pals, if you can even call it morning. They've named it glow season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying the heck inside for the next month. What's the point in even going out if you can't see anything? It's going to be a long, boring month. No way, it looks cool out there.
So cool.
You peek out the window. The wormhole is the biggest you've ever seen it, like a massive fiery ring in the sky. The planet must be very close to it now. And out in the jungle, something new is taking place. The plants are flowering, glowing, iridescent blooms, and everything is full of life. There are strange new sounds, long hooting calls and gurgling roars. After Mars's messages, a notice from the council warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back and the gates closed for the month. There's tension in the air, as if everyone is waiting for something. I assume this is where Disco's missing?
I don't think so. Oh, it's right there.
Dis is staring off into the wilderness outside the gates. Feels different. Don't know how, just different. You ask him what he means, but he just shakes his head and stuffs his hands in his pockets. Does this rest you?
So I can give him an item.
Oh.
One of these mushwoods.
Thank you, he says, clearly unsure how to react. I'll find something to do with it.
So now we know he's kind of neutral on mushwood.
All right.
Ooh, crystal. That's the blue modifier. All right. What about glow-in-the-dark sports ball?
Let's do it. Training in the dark is really hard. You lose a lot of sports balls under the bleachers and in dark corners this month. You submit a request to engineering to make some sort of glow-in-the-dark paint so it's easier to spot the ball, but it gets rejected for not being a priority concern.
Get to work. Easy peasy. Kablam.
It's daytime when the emergency sirens start out. Well, what passes for day. It's still nearly pitch black except for an eerie green twilight glow on the horizon. You look toward the gates. They're open. Wait, they shouldn't be open. The alert blares out of every speaker in the colony. It's the same one you used for hull breaches and fires, and in space it meant you were supposed to go to the nearest emergency shaft and put on a spacesuit. On Vertumna, it means go to an assembly point and wait for instructions. The closest assembly point is the children's crash, but from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire? Is the colony under attack?
So we can do the good thing and hide, or fight.
Let's. I want to see I want to see what the danger is.
Fight!
You'll try your best to be brave and fight back. First, you dodge some helpful grown-ups who point you back to the crash. Then you head outside to get your bearings. You can hear yelling from up the stairs to command, and a commotion to the southeast at Geoponics where your parents are working.
Family?
Family. Your parents are defending the greenhouse from a pack of knee-high creatures which seem to have eyes growing all over their bodies. Their oily flesh ripples with a constant subtle motion as the individual eyes blink one at a time incessantly. You can't tell which end is which with these horrible things. Hit him with a shovel! Cal is standing nearby. Wide-eyed, he slowly picks up a shovel and moves beside you. He reluctantly holds the shovel in front of himself like a weapon. Easy, doggies, he whispers. We don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, both of you! Run, your mom shouts, attracting the pack's attention. All except one animal, which moves straight towards you and Cal. Figure out what it wants?
Yeah. What you want, doggy?
You look into its too many eyes and see fear. This creature is scared of you. To Cal's amazement, you crouch down to look less threatening and choose two eyes at random to look into, to communicate with. You start to reach out a hand, but the creature is trembling. Staring into its eyes has made it even more frightened than before. It pounces.
Defend yourself. Combat challenge. Double up. Let's get some pairs, and I might as well do that. No reason not to. Double, and then big money. And, sure. I ain't playing, I am playing.
Yeah,
There you go.
we're gonna style on this doggy.
Super goal! Yes.
You killed it. With nothing but a rake thrust deep into several of the creature's many eyes, the rest of the pack scampers off the moment it falls. You've never killed anything before. The body of the creature that was so terrifying a minute ago now looks strangely small and harmless. All of its eyes have closed for good now. Cal crouches beside it, in shock. I told you to run, Marginalia. Uh-oh. Your mom looks furious that you put yourself in danger. She storms over and thinks she's going to slap you, then suddenly she pulls you into her arms and hugs you. She keeps rocking you and saying, my baby, over and over. It's pretty surreal, almost as weird as the dog things with the eyes, honestly. After 2 weeks of darkness with the blue sun barely skimming the horizon, it begins to move higher in the sky and daytime returns. The council admits they don't know how the gates were opened or how the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought to be docile. Others were species nobody had seen before. It was like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed this time.
Bam, bam, bam. Happy birthday. So yeah, game ends at end of age 19.
We are so stressed out.
Yeah, we're pretty stressed.
That's debatable. It's such a good name for a 10-year-old's card.
If Tammy's alive, she gives you a cake every birthday.
Oh.
And you can choose to eat it with her or not.
Brutal. Shall we take another quick break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we will be back in a few short minutes, chat. See you when that elapses.
Hello.
Welcome back. Have you ever failed to dry swallow an ibuprofen?
Kinda.
And it's just like,
I mean, they're smaller than the pills I normally dry swallow.
this one had is also a muscle relaxant for my back.
That's
So
the same
it's-
size as the ones I dry swallow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a football-sized one
Yeah.
and powdery.
So I saw questions in the chat about like information carrying through the loops. You do get some information. You don't keep like your dates and stuff, but you learn augments, likes, dislikes, and birthdays. Those all stay. And you get like hint dialogues for information that you have. Let's talk to Dad.
You're looking a little worn out, my little firefly. Your dad greets you looking concerned. You know, despite what your mom might say, there is such a thing as too much work. Maybe some R&R over in the lounge would help recharge those solar cells. What do you say? Maybe I just need some parental love.
Yeah, give me hug.
Your dad throws his arms wide. Well, get in here, Tiger Butter. After a long hug, you do feel a little better. Your dad gives incredible hugs.
Is tiger butter like tiger ice cream? Or is it butter made from tiger milk?
Now I just have the words cat milk, which implies the existence of dog milk,
For kittens.
which is so much worse. The concept of dog milk actually makes me want to go lie down.
You're looking for Cal in the garden when you nearly trip over someone else, one of the younger kids, and they're blindfolded? Hey! They exclaim, ripping the blindfold off their face and throwing it to the ground. It's Cirrus, one of an enemy's brothers. He glares at you. I was almost done! Cal jogs over and grabs Cirrus in a friendly headlock, ruffling his messy hair. Dude, you were so close! Cirrus stamps his feet and complains that you got in his way. It's not their fault, Cal says. They didn't know we were playing a game. Give me a sec. I want to teach them how to play. Cal turns to you as Cirrus leaves. Sorry, Marginalia, he says sheepishly. I was teaching Cirrus a new game, but he's more like an enemy than I thought. Real competitive, you know. He stoops to pick up the blindfold, brushing off the dirt. I've been trying to come up with different kinds of games other than sports ball. He says, no winners or losers, just want to have fun with my friends. Cal looks at you hopefully. Do you want to learn how to play?
Yeah. Our dad told us we needed to play.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Cal's smile looks like it's gonna stretch off his face. Radical. Algebraic. He shouts. Okay, so first put on this blindfold. The blindfold is a little scratchy and smells like dirt. You can feel Cal's big hands on your shoulders. I'm gonna spin you around. When I let go, you gotta listen to my instructions. We're gonna walk all the way to the cafeteria, okay? You nod. You can't see Cal's grin, but you can hear it in his voice as he spins you around and counts to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. First, you gotta walk forward 10 steps. Do you follow Cal's instructions as best you can or make things difficult for him? I mean, this game is clearly for babies.
Yeah, just do our bet. Like,
Do our best. We're good. We're good.
yeah, we're
a
good. We
kid.
can win this game.
You take 10 steps straight forward, holding your hands out for balance. The rocky dirt between the garden beds crunches under your feet. Yeah, Cal says. Now turn to your right and take 15 steps until you get to the door. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
You turn to the right and walk forward, counting out 15 steps. When you stop, Cal laughs. You can hear his footsteps crunching behind you. I forgot how much bigger I am than you. You're like 2 more steps away. You take 2 more steps until your outstretched hands lands on the warm metal of the door. Success! Awesome, Cal says. You can't help but smile. This is fun. Now hit the door button on the right and then keep walking forward until I say stop. Go really slowly, okay? You open the door and start walking forward. The path slopes downward, your feet slip a little bit, even though you're moving as slowly as you can. Real dirt is nothing like the metal floors of Stratospheric. It's turbo rocky here, Cal says. You can feel uneasiness prickle up the back of your arms. Just keep going forward slowly. Trust.
Trust.
You slowly creep down the slope to the center of the colony, somehow managing not to bump into anything. Cal cheers. Okay, now turn a little to your right. Keep walking straight. We're so close. You carefully pick your way forward, stopping when you hear Mars's unmistakable voice ringing across the courtyard. What are you nullheads doing? Cal tells her you're playing a game. Is that a real game? Mars scoffs. It looks like Marginalia is just wandering around with a scarf over their eyes. Aren't you a little old for this? Oh no.
Oh no, we're too
We
self-conscious.
might be too old. Embarrassment burns in your belly as you tear off the blindfold, blinking away tears as the sun brightens. You can see Mars looking down her nose at you. Mars sneers, tossing her braids over her shoulder. I thought you were cooler, Marginalia. Let me know when you're ready to play adult games. You're not sure what she meant by that.
Like Magic the Gathering?
You become aware of Cal standing behind you. Sorry, Marginalia, he says quietly. I guess it is kind of a silly game. You ask if he wants to get some potato juice from the cafeteria instead. You spend the afternoon brainstorming ideas for more games with no winners or losers. Hey, Mars. Mars, tell me about these adult games. Mars. Nope.
No.
Nope, nothing.
No, I guess
no
not.
information.
No.
Nope. Well,
Oh, wait. There was like a thing, looked like a root on the ground?
yeah, I picked it up.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. I couldn't remember.
It's medicinal root.
Ooh.
To school.
Hmm.
That biology. Let's get wet science all up in here.
You're bringing supplies to medbay when you see something unusual. Tangent curled up on a bench, her head pillowed on a rolled-up lab coat. She's fast asleep. You stop and stare. You never see Tang sleeping. She's always so busy. You're surprised she even has time to nap. You turn to leave her in peace when you bump into Nem. Whoa, Nem says. She hardly ever sleeps, like just a couple hours a night. Is she sick or something? You look back at Tangent, snoozing peacefully. Learned. Tangent. Augment.
Her argument is that she doesn't need as much sleep.
I'm so jealous of her genetic enhancement, Nem says, rubbing at one of the scales sprouting on her jawline. She hardly needs sleep at all. She probably stayed up all night studying for this morning's history test. The what?
Test?
Me? I flunked it, Anemone says matter-of-factly. No biggie, though. If I didn't have to sleep, I'd probably play games instead of studying anyway. Tang's hollow palm beeps a soft alarm.
Beefs softly.
No. She sits up and stretches, looking totally refreshed and alert. She sees you watching her and looks annoyed. It's just a power nap, she says. No reason to gawk.
Okay. Second.
Okay. So, do you mind if I do this one?
Yeah, sure. You can drag the cards into slots or right click to just swap them. You did it.
I did it.
You solved their card puzzle.
If total equal... Oh, 5 kudos if gold equals...
Yeah, do you think you can manufacture that? You can also use the collectibles to boost stuff. Oh.
Our stress is so high.
Yep. But we're ready to have a nap.
Yeah, we're gonna go need to lie down. So much has happened in the last month since the monster attacking during Glow. The idea of this planet as a peaceful utopia has been shattered. The security squads are training new members and keeping close watch on the gates now. They're reinforcing the walls and even installing a few robotic turrets. In class, you have drills on what to do if the colony is attacked again. In all the excitement, you forgot today was your birthday. Your parents haven't forgotten. They wake you up early with enthusiastic shouts of "Surprise!" A Vertumnum year is only a little longer than a year on Earth, so you've taken up its calendar for birthdays. Yours is the second month of quiet. Spark snow drifts slowly past your portal window as you snuggle with your dad. Your mom climbs up too and sits on the edge of your bed. Your dad pulls a bowl of fruit from behind his back with a flourish like a magic trick. At least you think it's fruit? What are those? Bobber fruit, your dad grins. The foragers have just been picking these outside the walls. They look funny, but they're tasty. Try one. You take a cautious bite. The pulp is soft and tastes a bit like lemon, only blue. I bet you can't wait to join the surveyors out there, your dad says wistfully. Who knows what else you'll find? Marginalia is not allowed outside the gates, your mom interrupts, her voice sharp. It's too dangerous for kids. Well, I know, but eventually, your dad says, but your mom cuts him off again. But not now, your mom replies. Not since the attack. Not with everything we know is out there now.
I knew about the monsters.
Yeah, they did.
I helped.
Yeah, we helped. Don't even start, your mom snaps. You should have been in the creche with the others, not putting yourself in danger for no reason. You don't get it. You know your mom wasn't a farmer back on Earth. She was a fighter too. She's such a hypocrite. Even still, your mom says, it's clear that everyone should know how to defend themselves if it happens again. To be clear, this includes knowing when to run away, your dad adds. Security Chief Rhett's offering self-defense lessons at the garrison, you know, even for kids. If you're interested, you should drop in sometimes. Your mom gives you a stern look. And I've heard stories of kids sneaking outside the walls, she says grimly. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to put a chip in your ear. You laugh. What a good joke. Your mom doesn't laugh.
Me? Never.
Yeah, you better never, your mom retorts, crossing her arms. Maybe watching a child our age get exploded had an effect on our mother. Possibly.
Let's see if Tonin has anything new. Bestiary.
Eyebeast. Eyebeast. Xenocanid ocula. Dog-like creatures with rippling, oily black skin and multiple ocular growths all over their bodies. I wonder if the artist just spent the entire time with that brief going, don't draw a hound eye. Don't draw a hound eye. Don't draw a hound eye. Fuck!
I'm tough.
Well, so you are, Uncle Tonin replies, his voice heavy as he looks at you with pride. You're growing up, aren't you? He nods and pats you on the shoulder, and you know he's thinking of Tammy. Listen, he tells you, I can see you're a tough cookie, and I'd love to have you on my survey team in the future, but you'll have to wait a few more years first. Come see me when you're older, okay, kiddo?
If you're still here.
Dejected, you drag your feet as you walk back through the gates to safety. Psst. What's that? You look around questioningly. It's Dis.
Who dis?
He's hiding behind some bushes? That's so typical. He puts a finger to his lips and motions for you to follow him. Sure, you figure. Why not? He leads you silently along the walls towards the garrison, then crouches down in the bushes between the sports ball field and the security pavilion to fiddle with something. Suddenly, he's gone. You check to make sure nobody else noticed, then scuttle over to where you last saw him. Behind some popflower bushes, there's a drainage pipe in the wall big enough to crawl through. A heavy grate keeps animals out, but it's loose. You could slide it aside to get through. You could sneak out. If the adults won't let you visit the Valley of Vertigo or the subaqueous swamps or the other cool places surveyors get to go, well, you could sneak through here to explore just outside the colony walls. If Dis does it, how dangerous could it be?
Okay, so we need to take a break.
Yeah.
Honk shoe, me.
You nestle in the cushions, close your eyes, and listen to music. You have an archive of over 100 years of music to choose from, but still, you wonder what new songs they're writing these days, 10 million light years away on Earth. The only new music you've heard is when the adults have come up with a new space shanty. It's nice. Good music for harmonizing with your friends as you work, but it's not really something you want in your ears all the time.
Let's get rid of the one.
Yeah. Let's forget our first words. My first word was hi.
So, shall we sneak out?
Let's.
Rebellion! Boop. Sup, Dis?
You slipped through the drain pipe and out of the colony before anyone saw you. Anyone, that is, except for a dark form watching you from the trees nearby. Could that be? Is that Dis? He turns and disappears into the jungle. Now you're sure of it. That was definitely Dis. He's not allowed outside the colony either.
Fine.
You scamper after him through the brush, heedless of branches and brambles scraping at your arms and legs. Without a proper envirosuit, you get all scratched up. This kid is fast. You quickly lose sight of Dis and can't find his trail again, but you do learn something by trying.
Doodly doodly doo. What's this?
Oh, it's Fluffy.
It's a Hopeye.
Your way is blocked by a strange small creature with 1 foot and 4 large eyes, 2 of which blink sideways on top of its head like frog eyes. Oh, this must be a Hopeye. You've heard people talk about them, but you've never seen one up close. It suddenly starts flailing around like there's something wrong with it, even though it was fine a second ago. It keeps pausing to look at you, then goes back to flailing. What's its deal? Goal 27. Blah.
1, 2, 3. 0, 5, 5, 5. 0, 0. 1, 1, 1, 1. There, we learned animals.
You stop trying to get past and just listen. Oh, you can hear little squeaking noises from nearby. It's probably warning you away from its nest. You carefully avoid the nest while speaking in soothing tones. The agitated little guardian titters warnings at you, but eventually lets you by.
Mushwood.
Plus 13 stress.
Yep.
Some farmland is spilled outside the walls. The fields don't look like they're doing very well. Nobody's around right now. In fact, it looks a bit abandoned. There are some meager-looking crops ready to harvest, but the animals are starting to get at them.
Salvage? Try to plant something?
We could try to plant something.
Sure.
You're just a kid at playing at being a farmer. You mess around for a few hours, planting some things that look like seeds, but it's unlikely any of them will actually grow here.
Oh, found you, you rascal.
You spot Dis sitting in a clearing, but not before he sees you first. Instead of sneaking away as usual, he stays still as you approach, like it's totally natural that he'd be sitting in the middle of the jungle so far away from the colony walls. Now that you think about it, you're a little glad to see him. You are so far away that you can't see the walls anymore, and it's really weird out here, and it's getting late. Dis stares unblinking at you as you approach. High marginalia is all he says.
Hi?
Yeah. He seems to be in a good mood, something you see very rarely. Do you see Utopia out here? Dis asks. Chief Surveyor Tonin is easy to sneak past, but Utopia has like X-ray vision eyes or something. She'll catch you for sure if you get too close. She caught me once and I got in big trouble. How about I show you something cool and sneaking out will be our secret, okay? He jumps up and walks a little ways into the trees. You follow. Just a few minutes away, the ground drops off and a large stone outcropping juts over a cliff face. Dis walks right to the edge without slowing. It's a long way down. Come on, he says.
Be brave!
Cry. Stress cry.
Try not to cry. Cry a lot.
Do we just play all our red cards?
Oh, I don't have a Xeno egg. Aha, now you're worth something.
You bravely step onto the rock. You bravely step onto the rock and walk out to the edge with Dis. You both sit down, feet dangling over the precipice, and look out at the amazing view. It's incredible. You snap a picture with your holopalm, but you won't share it on the net. This is your secret, yours and Dis's. Keep exploring?
Keep exploring. Fight the monster. Around the. We can't go around monster. Hello.
There in the clearing, the most majestic creature you've ever seen. It's like a unicorn from your dad's storybooks, but with leathery reptile skin that shines when the light hits it. It moves so softly, like it doesn't even disturb the ground. It could be dangerous, but you want to see what it does. Be as quiet as possible?
Sneaky. 0, 1, 2. Solid. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop. Bop, bop. Bop.
As you settle in to watch it from behind a strand of mush trees, the Unisaur looks up towards you, startled by your movement. You try to hold perfectly still and quiet your breathing. After a tensed moment, it goes back to its business. First, it sniffs out a good tree and rubs the scent glands in its neck against it thoroughly. Then it pees, like a crystal waterfall on a rock. Everything it does seems magical. You quietly take a picture with your holopalm, but you know you can't share it or you get caught for sneaking out. Next, it sharpens its horn against a rock, which is scored with marks from having done this before. This must be its favorite sharpening rock. You notice the bulge in its stomach. It must have had a huge meal recently. Eventually, it curls up for a nap. You quietly sneak away. This was so wonderful. Vertumna is a magical place.
Yay, medicinal.
Medicinal. Stumble into a minefield. There's something here, something invisible that makes the hairs on your arms stand on end, like an electrical aura. As you walk forward, it begins to feel like something nipping at your ankles, but when you look down, there's nothing here. You back away. The sensation stops. You move forward. Oh, it's worse. The feeling is like tiny electric bites, and it's growing more intense. Some kind of microscopic gnats? An electric field of some sort. It hurts, but maybe you can find a way to avoid it and get through this area. Stress cry. I love stress crying.
It's one way through the day.
Yep.
So we can split up the ones to get a run, or do pairs and a high value card. I think pair and high value.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Worthless baby.
Stupid baby. Our friend who died.
Yes. If you're in the creche and can't tell who the sticky kid is, you're the sticky kid. But by trial and error and a little intuition, you find a route through whatever it is. The shock seems strongest near some low-lying fractal palms. You can hear a humming from the palms and decide it must be some kind of natural electric field, maybe to ward off animals like you.
Electricity.
You come across a cluster of mush trees. They're not fully grown yet, but they're still pretty big. It might be good to harvest them before they get all gross and mushy during rainy season. If you were older, you could probably cut them down and get some kudos for them.
Friendly trees.
Yes. You like the mush trees. You give one a pat and are surprised when it moves under your hand. It's not the tree, though, but a camouflaged creature lying against the trunk. It's small and looks a little like an octopus or a starfish. Lots of long legs wrapped around the tree like it's giving it a hug.
So perception and animals.
Cool. Man, doing things we shouldn't do is awesome.
Yeah, it's worth it.
You let your mind wander as you're walking and bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blob grass. Totally transparent, the sticky fronds are hard to see, but even harder to ignore, especially once they start glomming onto your boots and slowing you down. It's like trudging through thick mud. You stubbornly decide to keep going, paying close attention to the visible signs of the blobgrass field. And there aren't many, just an absence of other vegetation.
Perception. Let's get some ones in here. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Killer. Boom.
Dead on. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to that fallen log, then climb over those old pieces of surveying equipment. You get through the villainous blob grass. You spend a bunch of time on it, though, and it takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring.
Free stick.
Just leave money on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Can't leave stick on the table.
No stick left behind.
Ahead of you, the road curves right, and there's a steep hill leading off to the left. You bet there's a really great view from the top of it, but it's going to be a scramble to get up there.
Oh, yeah. Worth it.
Yeah. You leave your pack in some bushes at the base so you'll be lighter on your feet than start the trek. It's tiring and even steeper than it looked from the bottom, but some broad mushroom-capped trees provide shade. The view from the top is spectacular. You can see all the way to the colony walls in one direction and down to a little sawmill on the other. Then you spot it, the rock, the most perfect boulder you've ever seen, teetering right on the edge of the slope you just climbed up. It's almost as tall as you are and must weigh at least 2,000 kilos, but it's practically teetering there. You think with enough muscle you could push it over.
No one's gonna die, right? If we just do this? It's just God's perfect boulder. Like, there's clearly no risk.
Will we see Dis's flattened corpse rolling with the boulder?
Well, then we merely continue the rest of our life and then come back and don't do it again.
If Lord of the Flies taught me anything.
What did they do with a boulder?
Murders.
Huh!
There comes a time in every childhood that one must take life by the horns and just push the rock. You shove it with all your might, digging your toes into the hard ground and leaning in. The rock starts to slide. And suddenly it's off with a satisfying lurch, catapulting down the hill, rolling faster and faster, crashing through bushes and... Oh, damn, your pack! The rock just rolled right over it! You make your way back down the hill to retrieve your bag, now completely destroyed along with all its contents. Oh, shoot, you're going to have a hard time explaining this one to your parents, and you're going to need a new pack.
Oops.
Is that all our shit?
Some of it.
You're strolling along the path when suddenly everything goes quiet. The wilderness is never quiet. There's always insect noise, the chirping of reptiles. Even the wind in the trees has gone entirely silent. There's something unnatural about this place.
Bravely run away. No, let's continue. Yeah.
Let's giggle our way through it.
Boop, ba-doop. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 5. Oh, let's get that eye beast in there.
You walk through the quiet area, then noise starts up again. The mystery will have to remain unsolved. Spooky. We are so beyond stressed out.
Well, maybe I'll go home then.
You sneak up to the expedition's office at the colony gates. Nobody has seen you yet. The lively hustle through the gates kind of makes you miss your friends inside. If you want to go home, you could sneak back through that drain pipe now. Let's go home. Are you sure? This will end the month.
We did it.
We can now perceive, perhaps even sense.
Dope. Alright.
You tell Tangent that you know where Dis has been going. You tell her he's been sneaking out to explore the jungle, not far away, but outside the walls. Tang looks concerned. Really? She says, wringing her hands. Is he safe?
I'll keep him safe.
She eyes you skeptically. Full offense, Marginalia, but you're just a kid, she replies. However, I suppose it's good to know he isn't alone out there.
Just checking for stuff to pick up.
Stick!
Stick! Hey, Dad, want a stick?
You meet your dad adjusting a watering pot in your mom's flower garden. He's having a sneezy fit, his eyes runny and red. You're alarmed. You've never seen him look sick before. People were hardly ever ill on the Stratospheric, except sometimes when the zero-G rooms made them queasy. Not to worry, my little beanstalk, he says nasally. I'll be fine. It's just this pollen that's making my head a little stuffy. He wipes his nose with a handkerchief and looks around. Everywhere you turn, the air is soupy and tinged with pink from all the floating pollen. On Earth, your dad tells you, we used to call it hay fever. Even though it had nothing to do with hay. Your mom cuts in, carrying a large bouquet of flowers. The native flowers seem to be in full bloom this time of year. She buries her nose deep in them. And they smell fantastic. Your dad smiles kindly and agrees that they sure are beautiful. Then he blows his nose loudly.
Time to smell the flowers?
Yep. They do smell good, and they look harmless. Your dad's eyes look so sad, but maybe that's just the allergies. Hey, Marginalia, I know the last few weeks have been very hard for you. This might be a good time to relax and stick around the quarters wing.
Yeah, let's do that. Relax. Oh, snap. We can get a nerd card.
Oh.
Or hang with Mars and Dis.
I don't know. What do you think?
Let's see what social.
Yeah, let's be social. Okay, but you do stink, you hear Mars defend herself. It's not my fault that you can't tell. Maybe your nose stopped working, but the rest of us can smell it. She waves her hands in front of her nose and makes a PU gesture, then turns to you. He smells awful, right, Marginalia?
So we can get bully cards. Stop being mean, Mars.
You stand toe-to-toe with Mars. She glares at you, then Dis. Oh, fine, she says, defeated. I'm sorry, Dis. I'm just trying to help, but it should have said it in a nicer way. Not everyone in life is going to tell you the truth, you know. I mean, let's forget being happy as a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. I expect my friends to tell me when I smell.
Oh.
We're friends?
Yes.
Dis is sitting in the grass near the big gates that lead out to the jungle. He's just staring into nothingness and picking absent-mindedly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice as you approach.
Quiet sitting?
Yeah, quiet sitting. He shifts uncomfortably as you sit, but doesn't say anything. You both just hang out saying and doing nothing. You stare out the big gates. The grass in the colony is trimmed short by garden bots, but out there it's wild and as high as your waist. Head surveyor Tonin is prepping his equipment for an outing. He's bringing a lot. Maybe he's going to stay out overnight. You're starting to wonder if Dis will ever acknowledge you when he says, I've got to go. As he starts down the hill, he pauses and says, this is a good spot. I'll probably come back here tomorrow.
Alright, should we sneak out again?
Yeah, I think so.
There's like big bonuses, but we might have exhausted all of the fun things. Oops.
You leave the path and sneak through a strand of mush trees to one of the little sawmills dotting this area. It's a small but busy operation. 3 people are feeding mush tree logs into some kind of machine while a fourth one directs a 4-legged robot with a plasma saw mounted on the front.
Let's look.
You stay out of sight and watch how they do it. When one tree crashes down, it almost seems like the others are wincing. It's probably just your imagination, though. They aren't planting new ones or leaving any behind. You know the mush trees regrow every year, but can they still regrow when you cut down everything like this? Even the smaller trees and bushes are getting ground up for mulch with a scary big grinder that looks like a roaring beast. The entire process makes you uneasy, but also proud of how industrious your colony is.
We got some perception. Should we talk to him?
Won't he, not like us out here?
Probably.
Let's not.
Do a lap and see if there's anything else to do.
Dis told us to, he would
Well,
probably ask...
avoid a different person.
Yeah. He said we could sneak around Tonin, but we wouldn't be able to sneak around somebody else. At the top of the rise to the east, you think you spot someone watching you. They're dressed in black. Is that Dis? But they look way too tall to be Dis. Maybe another surveyor. You blink and the figure is gone. Look for clues!
Clues!
You bushwhack down into a valley and up the other path where you thought you saw them standing. No sign of a camp or anything obvious like a dropped pack. No note saying I'm watching you, signed mysterious figure. Spooky.
Mysterious stranger.
A large woolly blue creature is floating here, a meter off the ground. It seems to be upside down, which is causing it some distress. Its segmented legs kick uselessly in the air as it tries to right itself. This must be a float cow. The colony is working on domesticating these, though you haven't seen one up close before. Her slitted eyes look at you imploringly. She makes a helpless lowing noise and tries to flip over, but she can't. You can pop the float cow?
Should I?
Figure out what's wrong with her. You take a closer look at the float cow. You've heard they float using a certain ratio of liquid to gas in their membranous bladders, so after some consideration, you figure out that the bladder on her back must be too full of liquid.
Well, only one thing we can do.
No, leave it. Plants grow fast during pollen. They've choked the path here and you can't see an obvious way through.
Push. Nice.
One gem.
Mm-hmm. Kablam. Woo!
You find a good stack and whack, whack, whack your way through the tangle of new growth. Take that, nature.
Good old whack and stick. There's the flag up on this hill. Let's see if that's a thing.
You've reached the end of this area.
Alright, so we can use that to get out if we need to. Float cow. There's no other resources. And we don't want to get caught.
A stream cuts through the path here. There must usually be stepping stones across it, but the water's too high to cross safely.
Bravely jump over. Yeah, I guess. All threes! Tis the threesin'. Fives.
You bravely fall in and get wet. You flounder toward the other side, soaked but victorious.
Ah, success. Ah, good. Plant. Alright, so that's all we can do with our current
Skills?
skills. Yeah, unless we want to talk to Tonin. I don't actually know what happens if we talk to him.
I'm afraid to find out.
Go home.
Go home. You crawl through the big drainage pipe behind the sports ball pitch, carefully sliding the metal grate back into place behind you. Then...
Carefully check that the coast is clear.
Good thing, too, because Uncle Tonin is passing by on his way to the garrison. You curl up in the shadows and wait for him to leave. That was close.
How did he get behind us?
You're finished breakfast in the common area when Marzipan struts in. Look at you, eating cereal, she says, turning up her nose at you. I'll bet you don't even know what today is.
You're right.
Today, she says, announces to the room, is St. Valentine's Day. Dis and Cal wander over to hear more. Back on Earth, Mars explains, is a day when everybody had to give their best friend a gift, especially sweets. And then you put the sweets under your pillow and it makes you dream about who you're going to marry. And there are decorations of hearts and arrows. And pigs. Cal laughs. Pigs? We don't even have pigs here. Before Mars can answer, Dis snorts, this is dumb. Marzipan just made it up to get free candy. He rolls his eyes and walks away. As he leaves, Mars shouts at his back, well, nobody was going to pick you anyway. You stink.
I know who my best friend will be.
Mars bats her eyes jokingly. Oh, really? Who could it be? She asks playfully. I'm going to tell all the other kids about it. So you go around and find your best friend and give them a gift. She points her finger at you. Make sure you do it by the end of the day or it doesn't count. And if too many people want to be my best friend, she adds, I'll hold tryouts for the position. It's only fair. She tosses her hair over her shoulder and laughs.
Sup, Nem?
Yeah.
Best friend, best buddy.
Yeah.
Nem's kicking a sports ball from foot to foot without letting it touch the ground. She fakes it like she's going to pass it to you, then kicks it sideways and runs over to catch it before you can get there. Too slow, she giggles. Do you want to be BFFs with this silly girl? Yes.
But she just debated us.
You offer an enemy some soy sweets. She stuffs one in her cheek, then bumps you in the shoulder so hard you nearly fall over. Sounds cool, she says as you rub your arm. Okay, best friend, tag, you're it. That was easy. Now we have a best friend.
We do.
And we could probably
Oh,
stop
thanks.
here.
Yes. Okay, so I really enjoyed this, like, using the mechanic of a deck building to, as a, engine for this? I don't know.
Mechanic?
Yeah, as a core mechanic.
Interface.
Yeah, an interface. I think it's an interesting idea, and I like these characters, and I like the game itself. I think it's cute.
So we are scheduled to play this again next week,
I would like that.
and I think we should definitely complete one life in this game. I don't know about after that. I'm going on vacation, so
Okay.
I'll be gone for a week. But when I come back, we can pick it up.
That sounds great.
All right.
Okay, let's do that. And let's
So thank you everyone for sticking around. See you all
Yeah.
later.